The warning and the wager. The night sky over New Mexico erupted in a dazzling display of light and sound. What locals initially mistook for an elaborate meteor shower quickly became apparent as something far more extraordinary. A sleek, silver craft, its hull pockmarked with scorch marks, screamed through the atmosphere, leaving a trail of blue-green plasma in its wake. Air Force Colonel Sarah Chen was the first to arrive at the crash site, her helicopter touching down mere minutes after impact. The acrid smell of burning metal and ozone filled her nostrils as she approached the wreckage, her team fanning out behind her with weapons at the ready. "My God," she breathed, taking in the otherworldly design of the ship. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen, its contours defying earthly engineering principles. A hissing sound drew her attention to a crack in the hull. As she watched, a panel slid open, revealing a figure that was unmistakably not human. The alien stumbled forward, its iridescent skin glowing faintly in the darkness. It locked eyes with Sarah, its multifaceted gaze filled with urgency and fear. "Please," it gasped in perfect English, "I must speak with your leaders. Earth is in grave danger." Within hours, the alien diplomat, who introduced himself as Zixtal of the Galactic Council, was whisked away to a secure facility in Washington, D.C. World leaders convened in an emergency session, their faces grim as they listened to Zixtal's warning via secure video link. "The Zarkonian Empire has set its sights on your world," Zixtal explained, his voice weak but resolute. "They are a warlike species, consumed by their quest for galactic domination. Earth's resources and strategic position make it a prime target." President Elena Rodriguez leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "Why should we believe you? This could be an elaborate hoax or a prelude to your own invasion." Zixtal's skin pulsed with a soft, sad light. "I understand your skepticism, but I assure you." His words were cut short by a fit of coughing, a viscous blue liquid spattering his lips. Dr. Amit Patel, the lead xenobiologist, stepped forward. "He's dying. Whatever happened during his crash landing, it's ravaging his system. We don't have much time." The alien's next words sent a chill through the room. "The Zarkonians will be here within one of your Earth months. You must prepare. The Galactic Council. We cannot intervene directly, but we hope to give you a fighting chance." With those final words, Zixtal's eyes clouded over, and his body went limp. The room erupted into chaos as leaders argued over the veracity of the warning and the appropriate response. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit corner of the room, General Olivia Hawthorne watched the proceedings with growing frustration. A decorated veteran known for her unorthodox tactics, Hawthorne had long advocated for increased funding in unconventional defense strategies. Now, as she listened to the world's most powerful people bicker like children, she knew it was time to take matters into her own hands. "Ladies and gentlemen," she called out, her voice cutting through the din. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. "While you debate whether or not to believe our fallen friend here, I propose we take action. If this is a hoax, we lose nothing by preparing. If it's real, we may just save our species." President Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. "What exactly are you proposing, General?" Hawthorne's lips curled into a smile. "A wager, Madam President. Give me control of a small task force and limited resources. If the invasion doesn't happen, I'll retire without pension. But if it does," she paused for effect, "if it does, you agree to implement my full defense strategy, no questions asked." The room erupted once more, but this time with a mixture of outrage and intrigue. Defense Secretary William Chang was the first to speak up. "This is preposterous. We can't base our entire planetary defense on a bet." "Can we afford not to?" countered the British Prime Minister. "General Hawthorne's record speaks for itself. If there's even a chance this threat is real, we need every option on the table." As the debate raged on, Hawthorne locked eyes with Dr. Patel. The xenobiologist gave her a subtle nod, and she knew she had at least one ally in the room. Whatever Patel had seen while examining Sixtall had convinced him of the threat's reality. President Rodriguez raised her hand, silencing the room. General Hawthorne, your proposal is unorthodox, to say the least. But these are unprecedented times. She took a deep breath. You have your wager. You'll get your task force and basic resources. But if this turns out to be nothing, your career is over. Are we clear? Hawthorne snapped to attention. Crystal clear, Madam President. You won't regret this. As the meeting adjourned, Hawthorne felt a mix of relief and trepidation. She had a month to prepare for a threat most of the world's leaders still didn't believe in. But as she left the room, Dr. Petal fell into step beside her. I'm coming with you, he said, his voice low. What I found in Sixtall's biology, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. If the Zarkonians are even half as advanced, we're going to need every edge we can get. Hawthorne nodded, grateful for the support. Welcome aboard, Doctor. Now, let's go save the world. Over the next few days, as news of the alien crash landing leaked to the public, the world erupted into a frenzy of speculation and fear. Conspiracy theories ran rampant, with some claiming it was all a government hoax, while others started preparing for the end times. Hawthorne, however, wasted no time. She assembled a team of the brightest minds and most skilled operatives she could find. Many were unconventional choices: hackers, indie game developers, DIY drone enthusiasts, people whose creativity and adaptability could prove crucial in facing an unknown threat. Their base of operations was an abandoned missile silo in the Midwest, hastily retrofitted with bleeding-edge technology. As Hawthorne surveyed her team on their first day together, she couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Listen up, people, she addressed the eclectic group. Most of the world thinks we're crazy. Hell, half of our own government thinks this is a waste of time. But in 4 weeks, we might be all that stands between humanity and extinction. So let's get to work. As the days ticked by, Hawthorne's team worked tirelessly, developing new technologies and strategies based on the scant information they had gleaned from Sixtall's ship and biology. They created adaptive AI algorithms, reverse-engineered alien materials, and even began experimenting with theoretical physics concepts that had seemed impossible just weeks ago. But with each passing day without sign of the Zarkonian fleet, doubt began to creep in. Even some members of Hawthorne's own team started to wonder if they were chasing shadows. Then, exactly 27 days after Sixtall's crash, every telescope and satellite dish on Earth picked up an anomaly at the edge of the solar system. A massive energy signature, unlike anything ever recorded, was approaching at impossible speeds. As sirens blared across the globe and panic set in, General Olivia Hawthorne stood before her team, a grim smile on her face. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, her voice steady, it's time to earn our pay. The Zarkonians are here, and we're humanity's best hope. Let's show these aliens what Earthlings are made of. With those words, the true test of humanity's resilience and ingenuity was about to begin. The Zarkonian invasion fleet loomed ever closer, but thanks to Hawthorne's foresight and her team's tireless efforts, Earth wasn't as defenseless as the aliens might have expected. The stage was set for a battle that would determine the fate of humanity and its place in the galactic order. Chaos and conspiracy. The first attack came without warning. At 300 hours GMT, New York City went dark. In the blink of an eye, every electronic device in the metropolitan area failed simultaneously. Traffic lights winked out, leaving the streets in chaos. Hospitals scrambled to activate backup generators, fighting to keep life support systems operational. Similar blackouts cascaded across the globe: London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing. Each outage perfectly timed to coincide with the others, creating a wave of darkness that swept across the planet. In her makeshift command center, General Olivia Hawthorne watched the disaster unfold on a wall of flickering screens. Her jaw clenched as she turned to her team. "It started," she said grimly. "And they're smarter than we gave them credit for." Dr. Amit Patel nodded, his eyes glued to a tablet displaying real-time data. They've somehow neutralized our power grids without any visible ships or weapons. This level of technology, it's beyond anything we prepared for. As if on cue, the bunker's lights flickered ominously. Hawthorne's eyes narrowed. Initiate Protocol Faraday. Now. Her team sprang into action, activating a series of experimental electromagnetic shields. The lights stabilized, but the tension in the room remained palpable. "We're blind," muttered Sarah Chen, now Hawthorne's second in command. "How are we supposed to fight an enemy we can't even see?" Hawthorne's response was cut short by a priority alert. President Rodriguez's face appeared on the main screen, her expression a mask of barely contained panic. "General, please tell me you have something, anything, that can help us." Hawthorne straightened, her mind racing. "Madam President, we're working on it, but I need you to authorize the activation of the Nexus Protocol." The president's eyes widened. "The civilian network. Olivia, that's millions of untrained individuals. The panic it could cause." "With all due respect," Hawthorne interrupted, "we're beyond worrying about panic. We need eyes and ears everywhere, and our conventional systems are compromised." After a moment's hesitation, Rodriguez nodded. "Do it. God help us all." As the transmission ended, Hawthorne turned to her team. "Activate the Nexus. It's time to call in our secret weapon." Across the globe, millions of smartphones suddenly activated, displaying a simple message: "Earth needs you. Accept mission." In the days following Zixel's warning, Hawthorne's team had secretly distributed a dormant app disguised as a routine update. Now, as people tapped accept out of curiosity or desperation, they became part of a vast, decentralized intelligence network. Reports began flooding in from every corner of the planet. Civilian observers described strange distortions in the air, like heat mirages, but in impossible shades. Amateur astronomers reported bizarre readings from homemade radio telescopes. The pieces of the puzzle were there, but making sense of them was another matter entirely. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., a different kind of chaos was unfolding. Senator Jackson Reeves stood before a hastily assembled press conference, his face flushed with righteous indignation. "My fellow Americans," he boomed, "we have been deceived. This so-called alien invasion is nothing more than a false flag operation, designed to strip us of our freedoms and establish a new world order." His words, broadcast globally, fell on fertile ground. As fear and confusion gripped the populace, conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Social media exploded with conflicting narratives. Some claimed the power outages were caused by a secret government weapon. Others insisted it was all an elaborate hoax. In her bunker, Hawthorne watched Reeves' speech with growing frustration. "We don't have time for this nonsense," she growled. But the damage was done. As reports of riots and looting poured in from major cities, it became clear that humanity's greatest enemy might be itself. Amid the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source. Zara Patel, a 19-year-old computer science prodigy and part of Hawthorne's civilian network, noticed a pattern in the data streaming in from around the world. "General," Zara's excited voice crackled over the comm, "I think I've found something. The distortions people are seeing, they're not random. There's a pattern, like a cloaking field with imperfections." Hawthorne leaned forward, suddenly alert. "Can you track it?" "Better," Zara replied. "I think I can predict where they'll appear next." For the first time since the invasion began, Hawthorne allowed herself a small smile. "Good work, Miss Patel. Send us everything you've got." As Zora's data poured in, the team sprang into action. They cross-referenced the civilian reports with satellite data and seismic readings, slowly building a picture of the invisible invasion force. But their progress was hindered at every turn. Global communication networks, already strained by the power outages, were now plagued by deliberate misinformation. Deepfake videos showing fake alien landings or non-existent military operations flooded social media, making it nearly impossible to separate fact from fiction. In a secure room deep beneath the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Chang faced off against a group of agitated military leaders. "We need to launch a counteroffensive now," insisted General Hansen, his fist pounding the table. "Every second we wait gives them more time to entrench themselves." Chang shook his head. "And attack what, exactly? We still don't have reliable intel on their positions or capabilities. For all we know, we could be nuking our own cities." As the argument escalated, a junior officer burst into the room. "Sirs, we've lost contact with our Pacific fleet. All ships are. They're just gone." A hush fell over the room, the implications of this news sinking in. Whatever they were facing, it was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Back in Hawthorne's bunker, a breakthrough was imminent. Dr. Patel, working tirelessly on the biological samples left behind by Zixtal, made a startling discovery. "General, you need to see this," he called out, his voice trembling with excitement or fear, perhaps both. Hawthorne hurried over to his workstation, where a holographic display showed a complex molecular structure. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" Patel took a deep breath. "It's Zixtal's DNA, and ours. There are similarities, far too many to be coincidental. If I'm reading this correctly, and I pray that I'm not, we share a common ancestor with these aliens." The implications were staggering. If humans were somehow related to these galactic civilizations, it could explain how Zixtal was able to communicate so easily, how the Zarkonians had known exactly how to target Earth's infrastructure. But it also raised a terrifying question. Why would our cosmic cousins want to destroy us? As Hawthorne grappled with this revelation, alarms blared throughout the bunker. Sarah Chen's voice cut through the noise. "General, we have visual confirmation. Zarkonian ships decloaking over major cities worldwide." Hawthorne rushed to the main display. The sight that greeted her was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Massive ships, easily the size of small cities, shimmered into existence above New York, London, Beijing, and a dozen other metropolises. In that moment, all the conspiracy theories, all the doubts, were silenced. The threat was real, it was here, and humanity was facing extinction. Hawthorne's voice was steady as she addressed her team. "This is it, people. Everything we've prepared for. Activate all protocols. Alert every member of the Nexus. As of this moment, we are at war." As her orders were relayed across the globe, Hawthorne allowed herself one brief moment of doubt. They were outgunned, outmaneuvered, and facing an enemy they barely understood. But as she looked at the determined faces of her team, she felt a surge of pride. If this was to be humanity's last stand, they would make it one for the history books. The Zarkonian ships hung ominously in the sky, their very presence a silent ultimatum. Humanity's response would determine not just the fate of Earth, but perhaps its place in a larger galactic community that, until now, they never knew existed. The real battle was about to begin. Underground resistance. The world had changed overnight. Massive Zarkonian ships loomed over major cities, their silent presence a constant reminder of humanity's precarious position. In the 3 weeks since their appearance, a tense stalemate had settled across the globe. The aliens made no demands, launched no further attacks. They simply watched and waited. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a long-abandoned Cold War-era bunker, General Olivia Hawthorne stood before a group of haggard but determined individuals. Scientists, soldiers, hackers, and civilians, an unlikely alliance forged in the crucible of invasion. "We may be outgunned," Hawthorne began, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. "But we are not beaten. Not while we still have our greatest weapon, human ingenuity." Dr. Amit Patel stepped forward, holding up a small iridescent device. "This," he said, "may be our key to understanding the enemy. We found it hidden in the mountains, in what appears to be an ancient alien outpost. Its technology is similar to Sixful's ship, but far more advanced. A murmur ran through the assembled group. Hope, that rarest of commodities these days, flickered in their eyes. Zara Patel, the young prodigy who had helped crack the Zarkonian cloaking technology, pushed her way to the front. "Let me take a look at it," she said, reaching for the device. As her fingers brushed its surface, it hummed to life, projecting a holographic display of unfamiliar symbols. It's responding to me," Zora gasped, her eyes wide with wonder and confusion. Dr. Patel nodded grimly. "Just as I suspected. The genetic link we discovered, it's more than just a shared ancestor. Some humans, like Zara, seem to have a higher concentration of alien DNA. They can interface with the technology." The implications were staggering. Not only were humans related to these cosmic invaders, but some among them might hold the key to mastering their advanced technology. Hawthorne wasted no time. "Zara, Dr. Patel, I want you two working on decoding that device. The rest of you, we have work to do. Operation Threadbare is now in effect." As the meeting dispersed, Sarah Chen fell into step beside Hawthorne. "Are you sure about this, General? Weaponizing everyday items, turning civilians into guerrilla fighters. It's a big risk." Hawthorne's jaw set in determination. "It's the only way, Sarah. We can't match their firepower, but we can outsmart them. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our adaptability." Over the next few days, the Resistance's plan took shape. Across the globe, members of Hawthorne's Nexus network began implementing Operation Threadbare. Ordinary household items were transformed into weapons and defensive tools using ingenious hacks and modifications. In Seoul, a group of K-pop stars turned their massive social media following into an intelligence network, gathering and disseminating information right under the Zarkonians' noses. In Rio de Janeiro, Favela residents used their intimate knowledge of the city's labyrinthine alleys to create hidden supply routes. In Detroit, auto workers repurposed assembly lines to mass-produce improvised EMP devices. Meanwhile, Zara and Dr. Patel made a breakthrough with the alien device. "It's some kind of historical database," Zara explained, her eyes bleary from lack of sleep. "And if I'm translating this correctly, Earth isn't just related to these aliens. It's their long-lost homeworld." The revelation sent shockwaves through the Resistance. Earth, the cosmic backwater, was actually the birthplace of an advanced galactic civilization. But why had they abandoned it? And why return now as conquerors? Before they could delve deeper into these questions, an alarm blared through the bunker. A Zarkonian patrol had been spotted nearby, too close for comfort. They must have detected the energy signature from the device, Dr. Patel said, his voice tight with worry. Hawthorne sprang into action. "Initiate Protocol Houdini. We need to disappear now." As the Resistance scrambled to evacuate, a small team led by Sarah Chen prepared to buy them time. Armed with their improvised weapons, signal jammers built from microwave parts, smoke grenades made from household chemicals, they moved to intercept the alien patrol. The ensuing skirmish was brief but intense. The Zarkonians, for all their advanced technology, were unprepared for the sheer unpredictability of human tactics. Chen's team used their knowledge of the terrain and their jury-rigged weapons to confuse and disorient the aliens, eventually forcing them to retreat. But the victory came at a cost. As the dust settled, Chen realized one of the Zarkonians had been left behind, injured and cut off from its comrades. In a split-second decision, she ordered her team to capture it. Back at the new Resistance headquarters, hastily set up in an abandoned subway station, the captured Zarkonian became the center of attention. Despite its fearsome appearance, iridescent scales, multiple limbs, and compound eyes, there was something almost familiar about its features. Dr. Patil approached the alien cautiously, a translator device in hand. To everyone's surprise, the Zarkonian spoke first, its voice a mix of clicks and whistles that the translator rendered into English. "Why do you resist?" it asked. "We have come to reclaim what is ours." Hawthorne stepped forward, her eyes narrowing. This is our home. We've been here for thousands of years. What gives you the right to just take it? The alien's compound eyes seemed to shimmer with an emotion that might have been sadness. Thousands of years, such a short time. We left this world millions of your years ago, when the great cataclysm threatened to destroy all life. We vowed to return when the planet had healed. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. The Zarkonians weren't invaders, at least not in their own eyes. They were returning refugees, come to reclaim a long-lost home. Zara, who had been quietly working on the alien device throughout the conversation, suddenly gasped. "General, you need to see this," she called out, her voice trembling with excitement. As Hawthorne and the others gathered around, Zara activated a holographic display. It showed Earth, but not as they knew it. Continents were in different positions, and strange, alien cities dotted the landscape. "This is Earth, but before," Zara explained. "Before they left, before whatever cataclysm forced them away. And look at this." She zoomed in on one of the alien structures. Its design was eerily similar to the mysterious ancient ruins found in various parts of the world, ruins that had long puzzled archaeologists. The pieces were starting to fit together, but they painted a picture more complex than anyone had imagined. Humanity wasn't just facing an alien invasion. They were caught in the middle of a cosmic family dispute, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. As the Resistance grappled with this new information, reports began flooding in from around the world. The Zarkonian ships were on the move, descending from their lofty positions above the cities. Whatever stalemate had existed was now over. Hawthorne's voice cut through the growing panic. "This changes nothing," she declared, her tone brooking no argument. "Earth is our home, whether we evolved here or arrived here long ago. We've built our civilizations, our cultures. We will not give them up without a fight." She turned to the captured Zarkonian, her gaze steely. "You say you've come to reclaim your home. Well, you're going to have to share, because we're not going anywhere." As if in response to her words, the alien device hummed to life once more, projecting a new set of symbols. Zara's eyes widened as she translated them. "It's some kind of activation sequence," she breathed. I think we just turned on every piece of hidden alien tech left on Earth." A slow smile spread across Hawthorne's face. The odds were still stacked against them, but for the first time since the invasion began, it felt like humanity had a fighting chance. "All right, people," she called out, her voice ringing with newfound determination. "Let's show these long-lost cousins of ours what humanity has made of their old home. It's time to take back our planet." As the Resistance mobilized, energized by this new discovery, the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of two long-separated branches of the same cosmic family tree. The true battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they were made of. The turning point. The activation of Earth's dormant alien technology was like a spark igniting a global powder keg all across the planet. Ancient structures hummed to life, their purposes as varied as they were mysterious. In the Sahara, a massive pyramid emerged from the sand, its gleaming surface covered in swirling patterns of light. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, a network of underwater cities awakened, their bioluminescent towers reaching towards the surface. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, a colossal tree-like structure unfurled, its branches forming an intricate web that seemed to pulse with energy. For General Olivia Hawthorne and her resistance, this awakening was both a beacon of hope and a race against time. They needed to understand and harness this technology before the Zarkonians could reclaim it. "Zara, talk to me," Hawthorne barked into her comm unit as she strode through the underground base. "What are we dealing with here?" Zara's excited voice crackled through the speaker. "It's incredible, General. Each of these structures seems to serve a different purpose. The pyramid in the Sahara, it's some kind of global defense system. The underwater cities, advanced terraforming technology. And that tree in the Amazon, It's regulating the planet's entire ecosystem. Dr. Patel's voice chimed in. But there's a problem. These systems were designed for Zarkonian physiology. We can activate them, but controlling them is another matter entirely. Hawthorne's jaw clenched. They were so close, yet still so far from turning the tide. Keep working on it. We need a breakthrough, and we need it yesterday. As if in answer to her demand, Sarah Chen burst into the command center, her eyes wide with excitement. General, you're not going to believe this. We've managed to hijack one of their ships. A hush fell over the room as Chen pulled up a video feed on the main screen. It showed a team of human pilots inside the cockpit of a Zarkonian vessel, its alien controls glowing beneath their touch. How is this possible? Hawthorne breathed, scarcely daring to believe what she was seeing. Chen's grin was fierce. Remember that genetic link Dr. Patel discovered? Turns out, it's the key to their biolock technology. Our pilots with the highest concentration of Zarkonian DNA can interface with their ships just like the aliens can. It was a game changer. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had a way to take the fight directly to the enemy. Hawthorne wasted no time. Chen, I want every pilot with compatible DNA in training immediately. Dr. Patel, Zara, focus on integrating our understanding of the Zarkonian tech with the ancient Earth systems. It's time we show these invaders what humans can do with their hand-me-downs. As the Resistance scrambled to capitalize on this new advantage, the Zarkonians were not idle. Their ships descended from the skies, landing in key locations around the globe. It was clear they intended to reclaim the awakened technology, even if it meant engaging in direct conflict with Earth's population. The first major battle took place in Cairo, near the newly emerged Saharan pyramid. A squadron of hijacked Zarkonian ships, piloted by humans, clashed with the alien forces in the skies above the ancient city. The human pilots, though less experienced with the alien craft, made up for it with daring and unpredictable tactics. Hawthorne watched the battle unfold from her command center, her heart in her throat. This was the moment that would determine whether humanity could truly stand against the technological might of the Zarkonians. As the fight raged on, something unexpected happened. One of the human-piloted ships managed to establish a direct link with the pyramid's defense systems. Suddenly, beams of energy lanced out from the ancient structure, targeting the Zarkonian ships with unerring accuracy. They did it, Zara whispered in awe. They've sensed the old Earth tech with the Zarkonian ships. It's like the planet itself is fighting back. The tide of battle turned rapidly after that. The Zarkonian forces, caught off guard by this unforeseen integration of technologies, were forced into a hasty retreat. As news of the victory spread, a surge of hope swept across the globe. Humanity had stood its ground against a technologically superior foe and emerged victorious. But Hawthorne knew better than to celebrate too soon. This was just the beginning. In the days that followed, similar scenes played out around the world. In Brazil, the giant tree structure in the Amazon came to life, its branches entangling Zarkonian ships that ventured too close. Off the coast of Japan, the underwater cities generated massive tidal waves that capsized alien vessels attempting to land. But the true turning point came when Zora made a startling discovery while delving deeper into the alien database. "General," she called out, her voice trembling with excitement. "I found something. It's about the Zarkonians. They're not one unified species. They're divided into factions, and not all of them agreed with the invasion of Earth." Hawthorne leaned in, her interest piqued. "What are you saying, Zara?" "I'm saying there's a civil war brewing among the Zarkonians. A significant portion of their population believes that Earth should be left to the humans. They see us as their children, in a way, wayward descendants who have made this planet their own." It was a revelation that changed everything. If there were Zarkonians sympathetic to humanity's cause, perhaps there was a way to end this conflict without further bloodshed. But before Hawthorne could fully process this information, alarms blared throughout the base. Dr. Patel's panicked voice came over the comm system. "General, we've got a problem. A massive Zarkonian ship, unlike anything we've seen before, just entered Earth's atmosphere. It's heading straight for us." Hawthorne raced to the command center, barking orders as she went. "Get our ships in the air now. Alert all active Earth defense systems. We need everything we've got for this one." As she reached the main screen, she saw it. A colossal vessel, easily 10 times the size of the largest Zarkonian ships they'd encountered so far, was descending through the clouds. Its surface rippled with colors, evoking the image of an ocean at sunset. "My God," Chen whispered beside her. "It's their mothership." For a moment, a heavy silence fell over the command center. The appearance of this behemoth could mean only one thing. The Zarkonian leadership had decided to take matters into their own hands. But Hawthorne's moment of awe quickly gave way to steely determination. "This is it, people," she announced, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent room. "Everything we've fought for comes down to this moment. We've proven we can stand against them. Now it's time to show them we can win." She turned to Zara and Dr. Puddle. "You two, I need options. How can we use what we've learned about their technology and this civil war to our advantage?" As the team sprang into action, Hawthorne allowed herself one last glance at the massive ship on the screen. In its gleaming surface, she saw reflected not just the fate of humanity, but the future of two intertwined species. Whatever happened next would reshape the destiny of Earth and its long-lost children. With a deep breath, she squared her shoulders. "All right, let's make history. It's time to welcome our wayward family home, on our terms." As the resistance mobilized for what could be their final battle, the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of both humanity and the Zarkonians. The true test of humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and spirit was about to begin, with the eyes of the galaxy upon them. Galactic paradigm shift. The Zarkonian mothership hung in the sky like a second moon, its massive form casting a shadow over half the continent. In underground bunkers, mountaintop bases, and hastily fortified cities, humanity held its collective breath. This was the moment that would decide the fate of Earth and its people. General Olivia Hawthorne stood at the heart of the Resistance's command center, her eyes fixed on the swirling holographic display before her. It showed a dizzying array of information: the positions of their hijacked Zarkonian ships, the status of the newly awakened Earth defense systems, and the ominous presence of the alien mothership. "What's our play, General?" Sarah Chen asked, her voice tense but steady. Hawthorne's mind raced through scenarios, weighing options and risks. Finally, she spoke. "We need to get aboard that ship. If what Zara discovered about the Zarkonian civil war is true, our best chance isn't to destroy them, but to negotiate." Dr. Paddle stepped forward, his brow furrowed. "But how? Even with our hijacked ships, breaching their defenses would be suicide." A slow smile spread across Hawthorne's face. "We don't breach them. We get invited in." Within the hour, a small team was assembled. Hawthorne would lead, accompanied by Zara, Dr. Patel, and a select group of their best pilots and scientists. Their plan was audacious, relying as much on psychological warfare as on technology. Using the ancient Earth systems, they'd broadcast a message across all frequencies, in both human languages and the Zarkonian tongue that Zara had deciphered. The message was simple but powerful. "We are the children of Earth, descendants of those you left behind. We claim our birthright and demand to speak with the Council of Elders." For agonizing minutes, there was no response. Then suddenly, a beam of shimmering light burst from the mothership, creating a pathway in the sky. "An invitation," Hawthorne murmured. "Or a trap." As their hijacked Zarkonian vessel ascended the light bridge, the team steeled themselves for whatever lay ahead. The interior of the mothership was a marvel of biomechanical engineering, with corridors that seemed to breathe and pulsate with life. They were led to a vast chamber, its domed ceiling a perfect replica of Earth's night sky. In the center stood a group of Zarkonians, their iridescent scales shimmering under the starlight. Unlike the warrior caste they had encountered before, these beings exuded an aura of ancient wisdom. One of the Zarkonians stepped forward, its multifaceted eyes studying the humans with what might have been curiosity. When it spoke, its voice resonated not just in their ears, but in their minds. "You claim to be the children of Earth," it said, "yet you fight against those who would reclaim and restore this world. Explain." Hawthorne took a deep breath, knowing that her next words could determine the future of her species. "We are the children of Earth, but we are also its guardians. This world has changed in your absence. It has nurtured us, shaped us. We have built civilizations, cultures, a rich tapestry of life that is uniquely our own. We will not give that up." She gestured to Zara, who activated a holographic display showing Earth's history, the rise and fall of empires, great works of art and architecture, scientific achievements, and the diversity of human cultures. "We may have originated from your people," Hawthorne continued, "but we have become something new, something that deserves the right to determine its own destiny." The Zarkonian elder tilted its head, a gesture eerily reminiscent of human body language. "You speak of destiny, yet you wield technology you barely understand. How can you claim to be ready for the responsibilities of a galactic civilization?" It was Dr. Patil who answered, stepping forward with a confidence that belied his usual reserved demeanor. "With all due respect, Elder, isn't that the point of growth? We've taken the legacy you left behind and built upon it. In mere weeks, we've begun to unravel the mysteries of technology that took your civilization millennia to develop. Imagine what we could achieve as allies rather than adversaries." A murmur ran through the gathered Zarkonians. Hawthorne could sense a shift in the atmosphere, a growing tension between different factions of the alien leadership. Seizing the moment, Zara stepped forward. "Honored elders, we've discovered evidence of a division among your people. Many Zarkonians believe that Earth should be left to us, that we are not a lost colony to be reclaimed, but a new branch of your family tree to be nurtured." Her words sparked a flurry of activity among the Zarkonians. Holographic displays sprang to life around the chamber, showing data streams and images that the humans could barely comprehend. As the aliens conferred in their own language, a tense silence fell over the human delegation. Hawthorne's hand hovered near her weapon, ready for any outcome. Finally, the lead elder turned back to them. "You have given us much to consider," it said. "Your adaptability and resourcefulness are unexpected. Perhaps we were too hasty in our judgment." Another elder chimed in, its voice tinged with what might have been excitement. "Indeed, the genetic divergence, the cultural evolution, it's unprecedented. We came expecting to find a lost colony, but instead, we've discovered a new species. Our descendants, yes, but unique in their own right." The lead elder raised a limb, and the holographic display shifted, now showing images of Earth and distant star systems side by side. "We propose a new path forward, not as conquerors and subjects, but as allies and equals." Hawthorne's heart raced. This was more than she had dared hope for. "What exactly are you proposing?" "A cultural and technological exchange," the elder replied. "We will share our knowledge, help you understand the legacy of your forebears. In return, we ask for the opportunity to learn from you, your adaptability, your creativity. These are traits our civilization has long forgotten." As the implications of this offer sank in, Hawthorne felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The threat of annihilation was gone, replaced by the promise of a new era for humanity. "There is more," the elder continued. "Your world holds a unique position in our history. We propose that Earth become a neutral ground, a meeting place for galactic civilizations, a nexus of diplomacy and cultural exchange." The human delegation exchanged glances, a mix of awe and excitement on their faces. In a matter of moments, humanity had gone from fighting for survival to being offered a central role in a vast galactic community. Hawthorne stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "On behalf of the people of Earth, we accept your proposal. Let this mark the beginning of a new chapter, not just for humanity, but for all our people. As hands and alien appendages clasped in agreement, a new era dawned. News of the alliance spread rapidly across Earth, and presumably throughout the Zarkonian Empire. The mothership, once a symbol of fear, became a beacon of hope and progress as it took up orbit around Earth, a visible reminder of humanity's new place in the cosmos. In the months and years that followed, Earth underwent a transformation. The ancient technologies awakened during the conflict were studied and integrated into daily life. Zarkonian mentors worked alongside human scientists, while human artists and philosophers shared their unique perspectives with their alien counterparts. The first Galactic embassy was established in the heart of the Saharan pyramid, its halls filled with representatives from civilizations humans had never dreamed existed. Earth, once a cosmic backwater, became a hub of interstellar diplomacy and cultural exchange. As for General Hawthorne and her team, they found themselves at the forefront of this new frontier. Their roles shifted from defenders of Earth to its ambassadors to the stars. Standing on the observation deck of the newly constructed space elevator, Hawthorne gazed out at the glittering expanse of the galaxy. Beside her, Zara and Dr. Patel worked on a console, coordinating the first human expedition to a distant star system. "You know," Hawthorne mused, a smile playing on her lips, "when I joined the military, I never imagined I'd end up as a diplomat to alien civilizations." Zara looked up, her eyes bright with excitement. "Just think, General, this is only the beginning. Imagine where we'll be in another 100 years, or 1,000. As if in answer, a Zarkonian ship shimmered into view, escorting a vessel of unknown design. Another new civilization, coming to visit the famed planet Earth, where the impossible had become reality and humanity had claimed its place among the stars. Hawthorne nodded, filled with pride and anticipation for the future. "Well then," she said, straightening her new diplomatic uniform, "let's go make some history." And with that, humanity took its first confident steps into a vast and wondrous galactic community, ready to face what if.